I am here. Hopefully you can hear me and you can see me. I am Evie Engrave, and thank you so much for Commissioner Tomes and Jay, and to really celebrate Accessibility Day. And I am going to send that app to my mother out in California who is disabled, and obviously she's staying home, and I'm really excited to be able to share that with her. So thank you so much. Well, I'm honored to work for the Minnesota Department of Health, and I'm also very honored to talk about what we have done in order to share really critical information and make sure that every Minnesotan can get this information. As Commissioner Tomes mentioned, these truly are unprecedented times, and decisions are being made that impact us, every one of us, including our family members, our friends, and especially more vulnerable populations. And we want to make sure that everyone can get credible, accurate, reliable information. I'm the Director of Diversity and Inclusion for MDH, and many of us are doing several jobs. I'm also doing another job to really help Minnesotans as well for the pandemic. But it's amazing in this agency that everybody gets it. They want accessibility and everything to be usable. So I'm really excited to talk to Chris and Ellie today about what they did to ensure that all of the information on the website is accessible. So welcome to the Global Accessibility Awareness Show today, Chris and Ellie.
Thank you, Evie. It's great to be here.
All right, super. So let's talk about the background. Can you tell me about the Health Department's COVID-19 page and why we have it?
Sure. So the Health Department site, which is at health.state.mn.us/diseases/coronavirus, is part of our overall diseases and conditions outreach and messaging. We provide information and guidance around many diseases and conditions of concern, specifically the infectious disease area of MDH, which we're members of, responds quickly to outbreaks that occur in Minnesota or are of general concern to Minnesotans. So what we're doing for COVID isn't unusual. It's just as a newly identified virus, the knowledge and subsequent guidance around preparing and responding to it is evolving rapidly, as you all know. And also the need to keep all Minnesotans informed has required more frequent updates than we might do for other diseases or conditions.
Yes, thank you. That is great information. And I have been out to the website many times, and the graph and the data that we have is truly amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about what is on the website?
Sure. So I know that some people have gotten a little confused about like what's on our website versus what's on the governor's office site. And so as the response grew to a multi-agency response, the governor's office and the State Emergency Operations Center created a more dynamic version of some of the data from the health department's situation updates. So we provide a lot of case information, and our epidemiologists do quite a bit of work just to give the idea of what's happening across the state. And we do that for many of our diseases, but for this one, of course, we needed to do it on a more frequent basis. So the two data sites have similar content, but slightly different purposes. And Ellie, why don't you tell us more about that?
Thanks, Chris. This is Ellie Pretzel, and the COVID-19 public dashboard that's on the governor's site provides really neat little modular and dynamic visuals that can be integrated into web pages and applications that are created by agencies responding to the pandemic. And that site also provides a really great overview of what's happening with COVID-19 in Minnesota as a whole. Our health department situation update has the same overview data, but we provide a lot more detailed information. In addition, our situation update provides data tables that accompany every visual image, and this provides multiple ways for everyone to be able to view and access the data. The dynamic dashboard and the situation update work together, providing users with multiple ways to quickly access the same data.
Mm. So is the data that's from the state COVID-19 website also available on Health Page?
Yes, they,
Go ahead, Chris.
sorry. This is Chris. So yes, they have the same big picture data, and the health department situation update also has more detailed data and information. Both sites are interlinked. The dashboard links to the situation update, and the situation update actually uses many of the visuals from the dashboard and has a link to the dashboard.
Oh my goodness, that sounds really complicated, but I'm really glad that it's working. And I know you had to do it so quickly, right? This virus has spread so fast and you had to get it up and done. Did you have a template already to go, or did you have to start from scratch?
So every infectious disease is a little different, as most of you know. So while we don't have a template for content, we do have a pretty standard set of information that we communicate for each disease. So we have something kind of in our back pocket of how we structure things, but we do have to adapt to each disease as we go.
Oh, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. So what were some of the challenges that you faced to ensure that the page was built in an accessible manner? Were there some unique issues or problems that you had to address? And how did you go about resolving them?
So our health department's infectious disease division has a really strong communications unit with many areas of expertise, including accessibility. Ellie is our accessibility coordinator. So there's a focus on accessibility and usability in everything that we do on the web. It is part of our planning process. We build it into everything that we do, and we try and do it from the very beginning. Every time we start a project, it gets built into every step. So when it came to building this new webpage for COVID-19, accessibility was part of our process. And when it came to work out data communications, accessibility was also part of that process.
And this is Ellie. So for the COVID-19 situation update, we focused on making visuals that met the state of Minnesota brand and style standards, while also making sure that that data would be accessible for the end users. And that meant doing some things that might be considered old-fashioned. We originally built the whole page using clean, plain text and a few static tables for some more complicated data. But as we moved into other types of static visual images and eventually into other kinds of dynamic visualizations, we kept accessibility in mind. And that meant making sure we used alt text and providing data for every visualization. Each time the data or the page evolved, we continued to test and adapt to make sure we're still providing good, clean, clear data that's accessible to everyone.
Oh, Mike, thank you. You know, that is so much work. And I know it seems to me on a regular basis, there's new information that's being provided. So thank you. What lessons learned would you like to share with the audience?
Yeah, sure. So working across agencies in a collaborative way can really help to build things quickly and efficiently. We really found that it was important to partner with multiple agencies and to try and meet everybody's needs. So there is a place for dynamic and visual applications, and there is a place for static images, tables, and alt text. So working in tandem has allowed us to have the broadest reach in a fast-paced response. In the end, we all have the same goal of providing information for everyone, and by working together, I think we achieved this goal.
As Minnesota resident and the Director of Diversity and Inclusion for Minnesota Department of Health, I really think you definitely did achieve the goal. And thank you for all of the work that you're doing to keep Minnesotans safe. And thank you for supporting all of our diverse populations across the state, including with people with disabilities. And with that, I'll turn it back to our host. Thank you so much.